Hello, welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi Show with Peter Yu. Today, we're going to talk about how to grow judo in America. It's been a hot topic on Reddit, everywhere on the internet. So I kind of wanted to give my 2 cents alongside with Peter.
Yeah. Also, this was a suggestion from one of our patrons, Roger. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah. So, as you know, judo compared to other countries in America, it's not that popular. I mean, that's
Yes.
like, wrestling among the grappling arts, wrestling
Yeah.
and BJJ are the most dominant.
Yeah.
Yes.
In
So
America. In
in
America.
America.
So
So,
we're going to go a little
yeah.
bit deep dive into that. This video is sponsored by ShintaroHigashi.com. Please go check it out and support me. I got some new merch up there. I got some new courses up there. 10-minute concise Uchimata and Seinagi video. We're going to do more. So please support me, ShintaroHigashi.com.
Yep.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Supporting guys. Supporting guys. All
Yes.
right. So I think, what happened here? Like, why BJJ took off so much? I mean, I guess
Yeah.
wrestling, you can make a case that it's because it's integrated into the school system. It has such a big
Yeah.
advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a lot of things going on here, and I think it's important to know where judo stands in terms of popularity in the world when it comes to grappling arts. And I think
Yeah.
judo has the most countries participating in the world by far, hands down.
Yeah.
Right. When we're talking about how to grow judo, we're talking mostly in America because they did this initiative in the 60s and the 50s where all the champions went all across the globe and spread judo. My father was
Right.
one of those people. Right.
Right.
He came to the East Coast of the United States alongside with like 8 or 9 other senseis of great judo caliber, right? And they came and
Right.
they taught. So that was sort of the beginning. And in the United States, obviously, sports like wrestling and jujitsu are far more popular. Wrestling has always been popular because they're partaking in the education system. And I
Mhm.
think that was very important because internationally, they had freestyle and Greco. They had a very safe version,
Yeah.
collegiate style wrestling,
Yeah.
scholastic style wrestling. And I think that was much more of a pill that people could swallow in order to make it safer
Yeah.
for people to do wrestling. And I think that's one of the contributing factors. No one wants to pay insurance and do this and kids getting injured all the time. If you look at the statistics in Japan of kids
Yeah.
getting injured in judo, it is ridiculous. Right? It's
Yeah. I read
ridiculous.
an
It's
article
so
about
high.
that. Yeah. A
Yeah.
lot of concussion and yeah.
Yeah. It's like over 100 kids have died, through, breaking their neck or concussions through a sonogari, and this is
Yeah.
Japan we're talking about here, you know? So this is a real issue, and I think there needs to be a safer alternative. You know?
To the current competitive competition judo.
Yes, I
Right.
mean I think France is a good idea. We should really start modeling some of our stuff after France.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The most important thing that I like about France is they have these tournaments with much smaller competition spaces that are efficient and
Yeah.
fast for the coaches. And I talk about this nonstop. They don't need
Right.
regulation mat space for kids, but you've heard me rant about it over and over, so I'm not going to go too much
Yeah.
into that. Right? They also have a very robust ranking system, certification system for instructors. Right? They have
Right.
these
Right.
different belts and things you can do at certain belts, and they stick to it. Okay. They don't teach kids under a certain age, Tani Atoshi. They don't teach kids under a certain age, drop Senagi. If they do, they're penalized for it in competition.
Oh, so they have different, more strict sets of rules for kids.
Yes,
Yeah.
for different age groups. And I think that's one of the most important things. You go to a tournament over here, you don't know
Yeah.
what kids are going to do.
Yeah.
Back belly to belly suplex. You get a kid that, dives back for Uranage.
Right. Right.
You get a
Right.
kid doing Tomonage, drop Sode
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, everyone should do whatever. But you know what I mean? Like some kids can't take those kinds of
Yeah.
attack. They just can't. They're not equipped for it. If their dojo doesn't teach it, they're going to get bombed. Right. And
Yeah.
then, you hear all these, tough guy assholes like, oh, if they can't handle it, they don't belong in the sport. And that's precisely the reason why the sport doesn't grow. It's because of those
Yeah.
assholes. And, if you're
Yeah.
listening right now, you know those guys at the local gym screaming
Right.
and yelling at the top of their lungs. Oh, you fucking flying them. That guy. We don't need that guy. Get rid of that guy. Seriously. And we need to rethink how we bring up our youth, through
Right.
judo to make it safer so people can stay in it longer.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
that kind of that they will grow into these hobbyists or competitors who will pay into the system. And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Yes. I mean, in wrestling, like they have a slam rule. If you lift them
Yeah.
up with control, you have to bring them down with
Um.
control.
Yeah.
Obviously, with judo, it's a little bit more difficult, right?
Right. Right.
But like in wrestling, there's no such a thing in freestyle wrestling and Greco.
Yeah. They
You could suplex them
Well,
up and side down like a 5-point throw, feet to
yeah.
back, bang on the head. It doesn't matter internationally, but they say, you know what? We don't want our high school kids doing that. I
Yeah.
don't want our college kids doing that.
I mean, eventually when they go to that level, I mean, the idea is that kids will be skilled enough to like be safe, even on the
Yeah.
throws, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. At jiu-jitsu, you don't have to even worry about any of this stuff.
Right.
But no one's really getting
Exactly.
slammed. You know? Yeah, and there's ideas like, do you really want your kids doing heel hooks and stuff like that? If you teach them properly, all this stuff, yes, maybe. But like, in terms of like, I've seen jiu-jitsu classes, like BJJ full-blown jiu-jitsu classes that were
Yeah.
essentially no different than judo.
Yeah.
It was like
Right.
90% judo, and then
Yeah.
10% of the time when they're doing randori in air quotes, okay,
Yeah.
it's all on the ground. It
Yeah.
was the safest thing I've ever seen. I was like, wow, this is how all judo programs should be like.
Right. Right. Right.
I was like, what if I kid in that? Damn. I was like, wow, this is better. It's
Right.
like no one's getting
Right.
smoked. They learn the
Yeah.
throws. They like the throw. They like doing the things, and everything is safe.
So
You know?
there's that, and then you mentioned that. So there's this rule aspect of it, like for kids, and then
Yeah.
you talked about like licensure, like for instructors, like how France has this centralized, robust ranking
Yes.
system for
Yeah.
for instructors. So
Yeah.
how do you envision that being implemented in America?
I mean, they already
Yes.
do, right? So if you
Yeah.
like register with the U.S. Judo Federation or USJI,
Yeah.
U.S. Judo for at the coach, like I'm an international coach,
Right.
right?
Right.
So it's like then you have to do all the courses, which is like dealing with a minor. What can you
Yeah.
do? Don't touch that kid. That kind of
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where they have all these different things, concussion training, first safety
Yeah.
training, and those things are already in place, right? But
Right.
the way they teach judo, how they teach judo, all that stuff is not really, enforced at all or implemented even. They have it. They have
Right.
curriculum.
Right.
These are the suggested ideas. These are the courses that you can take online. They have these resources, but it's not marketed in a way where everybody who's a USA Judo member knows, you know?
Right. Right.
Jimmy Pedro and Travis does American Judo System, and those guys have much more mind share when it comes to like, oh, judo system, curriculum, learning, video, because they have a robust system already. And
Right.
they're,
Right.
marketing people.
Right.
They run Fuji, they run Judo Fanatics. They're always pushing stuff out, content out. Now they're getting into the tournament running game with a smooth comp with their
Yeah.
license, and everyone knows who they are, right? So they're doing a good
Yeah.
job with that, So it's a start, But we need something like that on a high national level where everyone buying into it.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
It's more okay. So that kind of innovation in the private sector kind of has to trickle up to the national governing
Yes,
body.
and then the
Yeah.
private sector, it's just
Yeah.
not robust, right?
Yeah.
Because you look at a guy doing jujitsu, they could do it for a much longer time. You have a lot of full-time instructors with no other options. So you
Right.
could do
Right.
jujitsu 10 years, 15 years nonstop without getting
Uh,
injured. How many judo
yeah.
guys that do judo hard 10, 15 years nonstop? A lot of those guys can't even walk. It's like, how are they going
Yeah.
to dedicate their lives to this thing that was so difficult? They
Yeah.
watched 10 people, 15 people in the room consistently. Only the toughest survive, that kind of mentality. Why would they even want to be in?
Right. Right.
You could do jujitsu in a room of 100 students, right?
Yeah.
And you could always have this thing. And then you hit this critical mass where it's very easy to stay in this community. And you can
Yeah.
make money in this community, going
Yeah.
around doing seminars and privates, you can survive. And now all of a sudden you're a black belt, you're pretty good, everyone knows you, you have an Instagram presence. And now
Yeah.
you can just open up your own school.
Right.
You need a lot more of those, I think, And I'm
So
kind of
you-
talking all over the
yeah.
place here, right?
So
But I'm gonna,
let's kind of step back and then kind of summarize what you've been talking about. So there's one safety
yeah,
and the instructor education, and then there's marketing, more business side of things. The
yeah,
three things
business
that we
side,
want to
man,
focus on. So
yeah.
all right, so that's the general idea. Let's kind of drill down into specifics of how to implement these things. So I guess we talked a little bit about safety side, like kids. Anything about like adults? Like, so you talked about kids, for
Yeah,
kids, like let's ban certain techniques outright in competitions even,
yeah.
and then yeah. So how about for adults? Yeah.
That's what say, yeah.
Why?
Yeah,
What?
Pete has a cold today, guys. So just so you
Oh
know,
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
it's really funny. All right, so for adults, absolutely, jujitsu did it.
Yeah.
Now,
How did
jujitsu
they
did
do
it.
it? How
So
did they
what you
do it?
want to do is get the critical mass, and the most important thing is injury prevention.
Yeah.
And this is the number one advice that I have across the board. If you want to grow judo in America, you do it with yourself first. Don't go out to your local organization, make noise, and do all this
Yeah.
stuff. You're not going to get anywhere. It's super
Yeah.
bureaucratic out there. with the organization, the Hudson Judo, the New York Judo, the USJF, and blah, blah, blah. No one wants to listen to you. You know, I've been bucking up the wrong tree for years. What
Yeah.
you personally by yourself can do immediately is to first and foremost grow your dojo.
Right.
If you're in a dojo and you have 20 students, that kind of sucks, right? Let's make it 40.
Yeah.
Let's make it 60. If you get to 100 students, now you got a real community right there.
Yeah.
Okay, 100% tribe of people doing judo. I'm not talking about just kids. I'm talking about adult judo. Right?
Yeah.
Now you have friends there. Everyone knows each other. You have your own cliques. You have your cohort, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And now it's going to grow on itself. In
Yeah.
order to do that, you have to make your beginners not do randori and get hurt. That's the first and foremost thing. Randori is too hard. And I talk about this all the time. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I did randori for years, and if you can't do randori, you don't belong in the sport. You are the problem. You're the toxic guy I'm talking about, you know, that's making it difficult for judo to grow because you have to think.
Survivorship bias. Yeah.
Survivorship bias. You got lucky
Yeah.
that you didn't tear your ACL that one time.
Yeah.
You got lucky that you didn't have to do randori with Travis growing up, and then he just beat you relentlessly and you quit, you know, because most of you guys would have quit.
Yeah.
You're going with Travis, right?
Yeah.
So all these different things, right? And the most important thing I think is judo randori has to stop at the white belt level. Well, you can't do it at the white belt level. I'm almost certain, unless the guy has jiu-jitsu experience, wrestling experience. Even then, it has to be a curated experience. You go with this guy who's very good at handling beginners.
Yeah.
How do you handle beginners? Do you have a course for that? Most people don't. You do randori with that guy. Okay. What is that black belt going to do to that white belt? He's going to stop everything, defend everything. Hey, dude, you're doing a good job. You got to go like this. You got to pull the sleeve. No good. I'll quit. I'll quit right away. Guy's like, oh, good. Takes 9 falls. Super fake. That quit. This is stupid. What am I doing? Aikido here? You know, like it's just dumb. Right? It's not what they signed up for.
Patronizing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's got to be a very curated thing, right? And it's got to be a guided experience. Guided randori. Curated randori every step of the way. You know what I mean? And you can like teach this to your people and scale it. Do I? Not really. You know, I'm kind of bad with this too. You have to curate this. Sometimes
you do a good job of like pairing people up.
Pairing people up, I do some of that, and every now and then I'll remind them, right? Hey, give them one technique takedown. Let them get one takedown. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, 2 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 0. Those are good. You want to stay in that range. Make it like soccer. You know what I mean? Like not too high scoring.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to shut everything down. Let them get good position so they could experience going in and going out. Defend late stage defenses, right? Don't just stuff everything on the first try. All these different things are important, you know? But then, yes, no randori is first and foremost. But you have to ask yourself the question, why do most people come to the dojo in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Why do they come to the dojo in the first place?
To get fit and grow a spine. That's it.
Yeah.
So like doing randori doesn't really do either of those things. You could argue, yes, randori is going to get you in shape, but no way, because you get injured more. You get injured faster, right? You red line first. You go out of breath. You can't really do anything, you know, and you're taking a beating and fear takes over and you're not really getting a workout. Unless you're like mid-intermediate, high intermediate, then yes, you're getting a workout.
Yeah.
White belt are getting a workout, right?
Yeah.
They're going out like that, you know, like going 1 or 2 things, like they're not really getting a workout.
Right. So
we like drill or
so go ahead. Drill oriented. Yeah.
Drill oriented, fitness oriented.
Yeah.
Dedicated beginners class is a huge one. And I understand the time constraint and the space constraints because we have that too. We're in New York City. We're in a very small space.
Yeah.
So it's like we can't concurrently run a beginner class and an advanced class at the same time because it's one dojo space. You know what I mean?
You kind of did it back to back. Like you would start the beginner class like 6 p.m. and then 7:30 you'll focus more on the advanced guys, right? I mean, that's
yes. Yeah. We've done that before. Yeah. I might do like 6:30 or 7:30, 7:30 to 9. I might do that next. I might mix it up. I might really change it up. You know, I don't really know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing, man.
So then, but one thing is like BJJ, or at least the schools I've gone to, they let white belts roll.
You're not getting slammed on the head.
Oh, I guess, They start on the bottom,
When you're doing tachiwaza and you teach them kochi and they slam their leg into the other person's leg, it hurts. Yeah. And no one wants to do that. You go for kochi and you stub your toe on the person's shin, it hurts. You know? and you get Osoto guard, you tweak your knee, it
Yeah.
hurts. And you get taken down with a Taitoshi, you land on your shoulder.
Mm. Right.
It's
Ugh.
very scary, man. People don't want any part of that. Jiu-jitsu is great in that sense for beginners because you're on the floor. There's so much less risk, right?
Yeah.
And you get the hug, you feel close to the person. It's like you're being held the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even being held down, yes, it's very scary for a lot of people, but it doesn't pale in comparison to like being slammed
Yeah.
by someone, you
That
know?
was gonna be, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's a big thing. So
Yeah. You have to be
safety.
understanding of
So
this
it's
stuff.
like this aspect is covers both topics like safety and marketing, like business.
Yeah.
And then I think that you made a good point about starting from your immediate circle instead of trying to
Has to.
influence the guy. I mean, it's kind of, it's always like this too. Like even politics or companies, you start with what you can control, and then it's better that way. Like instead of trying to go to the top right away and then influence. Yeah, because a lot of times you lack the influence even when you're just starting out. You
Yeah,
know.
man. And all these guys who are sitting on the board, a lot of these guys who are very active in the judo community, who are
Yeah.
sitting on these committees, they don't own dojos. So they don't really know. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, they're sitting around,
Oh, I
telling
didn't
what
know that.
a
Yeah.
lot of them don't have dojos, man. That's the issue. They don't really know. They don't really get it. They don't
I
really
see.
understand like our income depends on some of this stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And there's not enough collaboration between the dojos because it's
Mhm.
very, very like sort of ego-ish, right? There's a lot of ego. You know what I mean?
I see.
There's okay, like jujitsu culture is like, okay, let's roll, let's work out the different dojos, but judo guys, they don't want to get landed in front of their students. It's so instantaneous, it's so explosive, it looks really bad. I mean, a lot of senses don't
Uh,
even do Rondori anymore because the older you
right.
get, the harder it is to do, you know?
Yeah.
So
Let's talk about that too. Like I think so. Someone from Discord brought it up. Like, would it make sense to partner with other schools, like judo school or even BJJ schools or wrestling? What do you think
yeah,
about that aspect
I
to
mean, I
grow
think,
judo? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, I don't think that should be your first go-to. I think first and foremost, you need to look at the mirror and be like, hey, is my program good? Okay. Am I keeping
Right.
good metrics? Am I keeping, good marketing numbers? Am I retaining the right people? Is my product good?
Yeah.
You know? And 95% of the time, it sucks. I'm sorry, guys. It's not good. It's just not good. And, even I'm at fault because I'm saying all these things, but I don't do all these things, because it's so easy for me to fall back on like, oh man, I'm here to see
Yeah.
my buddies. I'm here to see my black belt. It becomes like sort of this exclusionary thing where I'm just kind of hanging out with my
Yeah.
boys. Right. So I'm completely guilty of this too. You know what I mean? So it's not an
Right.
attack on you personally coming from a place of above, you know,
Yeah.
but we have to make our product better.
Mhm.
Right.
Even before
Business,
partnering with anyone, like
even
that
before
doesn't matter.
partnering and
Yeah.
everyone, and you have to understand what a good business is. You go to Starbucks, you get the same experience every single time. That's right. You go to Starbucks, you know
Yeah.
exactly what you're going to get. Right.
That.
Judo's cool, not so much. Even my dojo.
Oh, I mean,
Right.
that I can speak to that from my personal experience. Like it's the reason why I was going to BJJ school more than judo school in
Yep.
around here was because I know that if I go to BJJ school, I know that I could get a good training every time.
Every
Like
time.
every time.
It's the same every
Yeah.
time. Right. 10-minute
Yeah.
warm up, 3 different sets of techniques. Right. And we're going to roll 5 rounds of rolls. We're going to do
Yeah.
5 rounds. That's
And
it.
then I know that people will show up for rounds and I'll get to go with different people every round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Formula. And you need
Yeah.
that formula to make anything into a franchise, right? Because it
Yeah.
has to be predictable. You know,
Yeah.
you have to know what you're getting and consistently go in day after day after day after day, right? In order to have certain
And
growth, progression, you know?
people are more willing
Yeah.
to pay for that experience, the
Yeah.
consistency.
Yeah, they want
Mm.
that. They want
Yeah.
consistency in their life. And I'm at fault too, because sometimes I don't feel like teaching. I'm like, I'm not going to teach today. It's just like, hey man, next week we're going to do Tayo. And then it's like, I don't feel like teaching Tayo today. I want to teach something else. And
Yeah.
sometimes, there's rules, right? Never teach more than 3 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
I break that rule all the time. 3 sets
But
of
we
3-minute instruction. That's it.
3 sets of 3 instructions. Oh.
Yeah. Broken up by 3 minutes of actually doing it. That's 20 minutes right
like
there.
what I see. And then
Yeah.
you
That's
run.
it.
Yeah.
Then you do rondori or whatever,
Yeah.
or throws or whatever, right? That's a formula. I'll give you an example. I went to a birthday party for my daughter's
Uh,
friend,
yeah.
right? And when you're building a business,
Yeah.
and I need to distinguish between making yourself a job versus building a business. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I have created a job for myself to be at because the business relies on me. It's not a business. I have a job and I made it for myself. Okay. See, that's one. The higher level,
That's you and KBI.
that's
you
me and
say.
KBI.
Yeah.
And it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not a business.
Yeah.
A business is a system of things put in place, implemented that
Yeah.
anyone could do. Lowest level employee can run it. That's a business. Okay.
I see.
I went to a birthday party and it was so good. It was so clean, right? And none of the people working it, right? They were all in like high school. And they
then
weren't
they
like
get the job. Oh,
spectacular. I mean, I'm sure they're fine kids, but like
yeah.
they're the lowest level employees of anybody, anywhere. It's like the
Yeah.
least paid, least whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
They literally had a script that they had to read from, and the system was perfect. Kids
love it.
roll in, they looking at the clock. Okay, it's time to dump out the crafts. They dump out the crafts on a table. Kids run over there, right? 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, kids start running around. They go over here. All right, guys, we're going to do cupcakes. They go run over to do cupcakes. And then as soon as that happens, right, 2 staff runs over, cleans up the crafts.
What's that?
Yeah. They go eat cupcakes. Juice gets served, right? 2 minutes later, okay,
Yeah.
music starts playing. Kids start going out and dancing. Okay, guys, we're going to play a game. They play 3 games, literally 3 games. That's it. And you know what? Similar to my system, okay?
Yeah.
They didn't steal it from me, right?
Yeah.
3 minutes apiece, dude. The game was 3 minutes apiece. Literally 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes apiece. Bang, bang, bang. One of them was limbo. One of them was like a freeze dancing thing, right? And were these guys like spectacularly clever, charismatic, amazing teachers of dance? No,
They're probably not even professional dancers.
no, they're horrible. But they were very good at it because they followed the script, right? Okay,
think
guys,
that-
listen up.
yeah.
Like this was the script. Okay, guys, listen up. When the music starts, you're gonna do a chicken. Music starts. They do the chicken dance, right? Go like this. And those kids are checked out. They can do this in their sleep.
Yeah.
Next is penguin. They do the penguin, and then the music stops. Like freeze and play. Bah, right? And then honestly, 3 minutes in, kids are getting bored. All right, we're gonna play another game. All right, guys,
Brilliant.
time for pizza. Bang, going to get pizza.
I see this a lot in BJJ schools.
Yeah.
They run you. If you notice, judo schools in America don't have classes every day.
No.
BJJ schools do.
Yep.
Does the head instructor always teach all of them? No.
No.
They teach the most popular night classes, whatever.
Yep,
The
that's it.
morning classes, lunch classes
Yep.
are run by lower belts that want to, get paid a little more serious about BJJ. But I think the thing is, even if they're not professional teachers, they follow that script the head instructor has developed, and then they could just go with it. And then everyone, all the customers, the hobbyists know what they're gonna get. It doesn't matter if they show up at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., or 6 p.m.
Yeah.
And then it's like, like even for myself, I'm more willing to pay for that because if I miss Monday 6 p.m., I can show up Tuesday 6 p.m. It's the same deal.
Yep. Same
you
deal.
know?
Yeah. It's great. It's not fulfilling for the person teaching it.
Yeah.
It's the equivalent of like being a master teacher in a college could create their own curriculum and talk about
Yeah.
anything on their topic of choice, right?
Yeah,
I have a PhD in, I don't know, physics, and I'm going to teach it this way, and these are my theories, and this is amazing, and let me
Yeah.
talk to the most brilliant kids in the room, and do all this
Yeah.
stuff, right? Change lives.
Yeah.
Versus you're teaching in the DOE, and here's the Common Core curriculum, and on Monday
Yeah.
we're going to do this, on Tuesday we're going to do
Yeah.
this, and they're just following a script and just blabbering along. So
Yeah.
there's a big difference there. You know what I mean? But how many superstar PhD doctorate, academics are out there who are at the top of the line in
Yeah.
an Ivy League setting versus how many teachers in the DOE? I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 teachers.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you want to pull, majority of your business in a capitalistic way from majority of the people and service those people, you got to do it like that.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, and I don't subscribe to it fully. Right. But I think that's the first and foremost thing. You have to kind of really think of it from like a business standpoint, right? If the think about retention, injury, fitness standpoint, all the stuff. And then I think that's the path to Grow Judo. And then when you
Right.
can have 200 people in the room, then you could hand select your advanced class, comp class, teach that, get fulfillment there. First
Yeah.
and foremost, you need the money to be able to pay the bills and leave that shit job that you have in the morning. Not
Yeah,
everybody,
very
not
true.
everybody, right?
It is, that's also true. Like you can't, if you really want to grow it it can't be your hobby to run a dojo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's, I think, the key, you know, so before you do that, any of the partnership, it starts with you really, right? You could partner with me
yeah,
too. And I guess, you could kind of, I do these like one-to-ones online sometimes, like a
yeah,
consultant. So you guys
mhm,
can go on the website and then
yeah.
schedule that, shintarohigashi.com, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of a
Oh,
rundown.
shit.
Yeah. So it's a thing that you can do, you know,
I didn't know you were doing
uh,
that.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'll
I've only done
schedule
it a
one
few
with you.
times. No, you don't have to, you got access to me anytime, man.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting because a lot of people, when they talk about this, even on
Yeah.
Discord, a lot of talk, this discussion, how to grow judo in America, kind of
Yeah.
goes on to like, oh, the problem with different organizations, three organizations, not centralized, all that. But you're saying that doesn't even matter. We're
No, that's
not even
excuses.
there, yeah.
It's
Yeah.
excuses. You guys are all
It
making excuses, and forget them. Why are you asking them for help?
yeah.
Help yourself. Help yourself first. Seriously. It's equivalent to like the government needs to do this and they give my student loans a break
Yeah.
and all. No, go make money, But it's kind of like that too, man. The dojo, you can grow the dojo yourself. You don't need those guys to grow the dojo. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
I
then
think
be selective in who you push out there in the competition circuit, because right then you need a little bit of help from the organization to
yeah.
support those people doing the sport,
Right.
right? Because you don't want to throw them into a lion's den.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Right.
you have a very nice, friendly culture and you want to throw them into the local dojo circuit and it's full of goons, that's not good for anybody, right? Students don't ever want to do that, you know?
How I see it, I think from like the that debate about private dojos versus like the organizations. I think what I'm getting from what you're saying is that there's so many low-hanging fruits in the private dojo right now.
Yes,
Like they're not even developed. I think you need that kind of grassroots private dojo foundation set, and then what on upon that foundation can you kind of influence and then maybe make make the bureaucracy of these organizations better. Like it's not you need both. Is what
absolutely.
I'm saying. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and right
Yeah.
now the private dojos side is so lacking in
Yeah.
America
It
that
is.
we
But
need to.
I've
Yeah,
seen successes too, right? I
yeah,
know this guy, Kevin, he owns a jujitsu school slash judo school out in Jersey. He partnered
yeah,
up with a jujitsu guy. So they have a
yeah.
judo slash jujitsu program. And it's great. They have 300, 400 students there. It's
Nice,
amazing.
nice.
And they're in Pennsylvania, so they have a huge space.
Yeah,
I know Colton at his dojo, he
yeah.
has a BJJ program. BJJ
Oh,
and
he
judo
does.
go hand in hand, man. It really
Yeah.
does. You
It's
can
just
like
about
actually,
how you package the product, I guess.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can
it really
partner,
is.
but you have the packaged product, partner product has to be right.
Yeah. And I'm actually almost even partnered with the Taekwondo ones.
Oh, yeah.
I know a guy that did that. This guy, Jose Big Cosme. He's out in LA. He's in California. And he
Yeah.
did that. When he was like, oh, should I start my own dojo, whatever it is, he partnered up with a Taekwondo guy and he
Uh-huh.
learned all the things. They have birthday party this, birthday party that, all these things. And, if you're the guy that's sitting there like, oh, I'll never do that, or I'll never sell out, or I'm not doing judo for money, you're one of the people that are the problem. You got to kind of get over that a little bit. You
Yeah.
need money because money drives certain things. And then you can't just teach judo for free, right? Then the quality of the instruction is not good. How many of you are
Yeah.
there? How many people
Yeah.
are out there who are actually good at judo, right? Who could not work and teach judo?
Right, right.
Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah.
I know like 2 people that could do that, right?
Yeah.
So if there is money in judo, they could dedicate themselves to that and they get paid out for that so they could do it professionally without doing anything else, so they could focus on that, right? And then
Yeah.
have that. And then the more money there is in the sport, the more people are going to want to do that kind of a thing. And the more people will be in the sport, you know?
Right.
I'm speaking like a true capitalist here, but like, you get where I'm coming from,
Yeah.
right?
I
We need more full-time instructors. How do we do that? Keep people in the sport more. And the first and foremost thing, don't let your white belts do randori.
yeah.
Seriously, don't let them do randori. Period. How do I make it interesting? Do like a kid's birthday party. Take a ballet class. I'm not lying to you guys. Go to a goddamn dance class. Seriously.
Hey,
See how good they are at making you move for 90 minutes straight, dude. 90 minutes straight, you're engaged. And you
even
see
that,
some of those rooms, 40, 50, 60 people in that room. Take a class at
God,
Equinox, see what happens. Dude,
I've been to those. I've been to the ballet class you do.
yeah,
I've been to all the cycling classes, spinning classes with my wife. Dude, they're amazing, man. I hate spinning. It was like, let it
yeah.
go, but I had a lot of fun. I
Bro,
had
I
a
am
ton
telling
of
you.
fun.
I am telling you. I take classes all the time just for that purpose. And I used to,
Yeah,
in the beginning, I was like, oh man, it's so dumb. I can't be in that room with those people. Like,
yeah,
but now I'll take any class that you'll put in front of me, if it's fitness related or whatever it is, as market research.
yeah.
And let me tell you something. They do it a million times better than all of us
Yeah.
in judo. No, seriously. And you know
Yeah,
what?
I know. Those Soul Cycle instructors are, they're so amazing that people dress up as them in Halloween.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
Listen to the message that they give you in class. Hey, you're doing an amazing job. Hey, buddy, you're amazing. Hey, what's your name, first timer? Welcome to the room. We're going to make you fit. We're going to all do it together. Give each other high fives, leadership board here. All these extrinsic rewards, intrinsic rewards. Here's the thing. Here's the motivator. It's going to be 90 minutes. It's going to be the same every time. This energy, it's fun, it's music. Let's get going, guys. Start. Blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, man, it is, first of all, fun. Is your
Yeah,
judo class fun?
probably not.
Uh, for most people in the room, it's not. It's fun for the instructor hanging out with their best guy. That's me.
Yeah.
I have a great time. Right? And some guys who are new, who rub me the wrong way, have no access to me, right?
Yeah,
Because I'm kind of standoffish like that sometimes.
yeah.
Is that fun for that guy? No. Why would he stay?
No, yeah,
I mean, he won't. You know what I mean? And I have a little bit of a different level of celebrity because of the YouTube.
yeah.
So people
People,
seek me
yeah,
from
yeah,
this, and they see me online. They see the social proof. So therefore, they're much more likely to take more of this nonsense from me.
yeah,
And even still, I'm very aware of all this stuff. So I try my best, right, to kind of mitigate and then
yeah,
to cater and service some of these people, you know? But if you're the average judo teacher who have that survivorship, tough guy mentality, right? Sensei was from Japan. I'm going to talk
yeah.
like I'm from Japan. I want to run judo like they did in the 60s in Japan.
No.
It's not going to work. It's just not going to work.
I mean, you have to understand what Japan is like, or other countries. The judo is state sponsored. These kind of like wrestling. Wrestling, even in America, is run like that because it's integrated into the school system. There are a lot of kids doing it, and then you can kind of whittle people out until you get the top of the crop who go to Olympics. We can't do that with judo in America.
No,
It's
you can't
it's
at
not
all. It
state
just
sponsored.
doesn't
Yeah,
work, So
yeah,
that's my advice, honestly. And if you guys need help, you guys could always reach out and consult with
yeah.
me on shintorohigashi.com. This whole thing is a commercial because I'm a whore.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this was a very interesting talk, I think. I mean, we've kind of talked about this here and there throughout our podcast,
No.
but it's good to kind of focus on this topic. A lot of people wanted you to talk about this,
Yeah.
but
And the contract.
oh, what's the contract? The last point,
Gotta have contracts. You
like
gotta have
six
a
months
membership,
contract,
6-month
year.
contract. We don't do contracts with Dojo because no, you're investing time in that person to teach them. They have to stick around. They have to commit to you too.
Yeah, two-way street.
It's got to be strict. You
Yeah,
have to be tough. It's got to be consistent. Consistent, tough love. That's what you need for these people.
yeah,
Also, it's got to be fun. Be a lot of
yeah,
things. And, the whole roundabout thing I'm trying to say is there needs to be an instructor education.
yeah,
Everybody who runs the dojo needs these kinds of things to,
yeah,
right, make it better.
yeah. Wow, I think that's, yeah, a lot of people tend to focus on the organizations like national governing bodies in,
Yeah.
in America, but I mean, let's not even get there yet.
Yeah.
We gotta grow the base, the
Yeah.
foundation first, the private
You know what?
dojo.
I want to hear from you.
Yeah.
Do you think the best software engineers make the best CEOs?
No, I mean, that's like a common thing, right?
Yeah.
So in software engineering, used to be that I forget the name of this hypothesis. Is that, but it basically says that the person is promoted until the position they're worst at, and then they're stuck. So as a software engineer, you go through like junior software, senior software, and then you've been to manager, and then a lot of times software engineers are bad at managing people, so they're stuck there, and
Yeah.
then they perform badly. So in order to solve that, now they have two tracks: equal pay, the individual contribution IC track they call it, and then the managerial track, and you can always move forward. So if I started as a junior developer, move up the IC rank, and then I was like, you know what, I want to do the manager. Then you try that, but now you can always come back to as an IC. So you're
Yeah.
not stuck at the job that you're bad at.
Yeah.
So it's like a common thing now.
Yeah. What makes you a great software engineer doesn't necessarily make you a great manager.
No,
And same thing
no,
with judo. What makes you a great judo athlete doesn't make you a great judo teacher,
right.
right? Those are two different things. And there's another layer, which is a great business person.
Yeah,
So there's three things you have to do, right? Business, teaching, and be good at judo,
yeah,
right? So, it's kind of like that, software engineer, that's a great example. The higher you go up, the lower your testosterone goes down. And the lower your testosterone goes down, the harder it is to become a CEO.
what? But yeah, I think that's a good point, about being an athlete and a teacher, and you have to like, if you can't do it all, you can recruit people, like, and in order to do that, you have to have a business, and I think that's what Shintaro was trying to say too.
Yep.
So, yeah, we talked all about a lot. Let us know if you guys have any questions. I mean, the fastest way would be to support us on Patreon and join our Discord, or you can also kind of have schedule a consulting session with Shintaro on his website, shintarohigashi.com. Anything else, Shintaro?
Nope. That's it. Thank you
Cool.
guys for listening.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.